Hi everyone, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Heather here with Treasured Hometown, and today I wanted to show you how to create one of these lovely little Valentine's themed totes. For this, what we're actually doing is a different kind of technique where basically we just create kind of like a short scarf almost, and we just sew the panels together in order to create this much fun, unique, almost spiral twist to these bags. They're very simple, easy, work up extremely quickly, and you can easily sew right together for them. So it's just a little extra fun having out there with the upcoming Valentine's Day. I know it's one of my favorite holidays. And just like any other video, all of the items used in the video will actually be linked in the video description box below. So if you're looking for any supplies or need anything in order to get started, they're all linked in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this pattern. To complete this project, we'll just need a couple of supplies. We'll need a pair of scissors. This is in order to cut our yarn. We'll need a darning needle in order to weave in all of our ends. If you wish, you can use a few markers. Sometimes they help out just holding the pattern together in order to whenever we start piecing it together, but it's entirely up to you for a marker. And then, because I'm doing this one more Valentine's design, I am using number 4 weight acrylic yarn. I'm actually using Red Heart just because I have so much of it available. I will be using red, a pink, and a white, and I will have all the materials used linked in the video description box below. And we'll also need a 6mm crochet hook. To begin this pattern, we're going to have to create 4 of these little pieces. So I'm going to start and show you by making one. It's very simple. We start with a slip knot, and we'll need 2 panels of each color. And then from here, we're going to do is chain 15. So we have our 15 chains, then we want to do 2 more. And then into the 3rd chain from the end, we want to put 1 double crochet. And then we want to put 1 double crochet into each of the next 14 chains. And here we are at the end. This would be, we are a chain row, and then this I'm counting as the 1st row. Continuing on from here, what we're going to do is chain 2. This chain 2 is not counting as a stitch for this pattern. And then we want to turn our work, and then we want to put a double crochet into this very first stitch. Now if we had done a chain 3, which counted it which would count as a stitch in certain patterns, but I did not like that look for this pattern. So we're going to work, this chain 2 is not a stitch, so we're going to work into that very first stitch. And then we want to put 1 double crochet into each of the next 14 stitches. And also remember that chain 2 at the beginning of that first row of double crochets we made does not count as a stitch either. Now here to show you, we have done the first 2 rows of double crochets all the way across. So what we're going to want to do is continue repeating this second row of double crochets that we did until we have a total of 25 rows created. So it's 15 double crochets per row plus a chain 2 at the very beginning. And I will go ahead and create all 4 of my panels, just simply repeating this. And as soon as I'm done, I'll come right back and I'll show you how to piece together the bags and later the strap. All right, now here I've finished all 4 of my panel pieces. So I've gone with pink and red for the panel pieces, and I'll be continuing using a white outline for the bag. Now, to begin piecing these together, what we're going to do is basically just kind of lay out the pad pieces so that the side seams match up in kind of an outlying pattern, such as this. So for it, we have the end row here up against the side, an end up against this side, an end up against this side, and so on and so forth. So all the pieces kind of fit together. Now first I'll show you, we're going to start working from the center here all the way down to the top of the bag. So we're going to want to start with our white yarn. I'm just going to create a slip knot. And from here, I'm going to go into that very first stitch into the corners and attach our yarn. And then what we're going to do, because we've got our corners together, we're going to go into each of these chains along the bottom. I'm using the red, and attach to the side over here. So how it's going to work is for every stitch, for every chain, there's going to be 2 slip stitches per row onto the double crochet. This is how we evenly space it. So we just go into our next one and into that first row and create our slip stitch. Now here, if I can show you, I have 2 stitches going into that first row. So our next chain is going to go right into that next double crochet. And then about halfway up that same double crochet row, onto the very end. So here we're up 2 rows, and I'm just going to continue this. We should end up going up 7 rows up along this side. Plus the start of our 8th row, and that will cover the bottom. And here's our last one, so the very first onto that next row. And there we are. We've attached just that one side to this side, the end, the bottom edge to the side. Now we simply want to turn and start working the side of this to the side of this panel. So same concept. Because we started at the very top, halfway through this one, and it's going to match up to the halfway point into the next row. Then into the next. So 2 stitches per row to evenly space. right, now we're at the very end of our pink side, but not quite the end of our red. So from right here, I'm gonna go right into the next stitch here, and then into that first, from, it would be the top row, that first double crochet. I'm gonna slip stitch right into there in order to join. And then I'll go ahead and just tie off. So there we have one little panel has been attached for our bag, and we simply want to repeat this same process but attaching each one of the panels to the very center bottom. Now, just to show, for in case anyone gets a little confused because it is turning and moving, so for our second panel, well, technically the third, we started with the pink, we attached the red to the pink. So next we want to take the pink, the next pink, go into your first stitch, and that would also meet with that same stitch where we attached and started the first panel. And then we just move up the side of the red, continuing with our slip stitch. You could use a single crochet stitch instead for yours. It is entirely up to you. I kind of am on a kick right now about this almost like a ragdoll stitching look for it. No, it's just my personal preference I've been having fun with right now. So however you wish to go about it is up to you, but I'll meet you back here as soon as I get all four panels sewn together. All right, here we are. For the last side, I did not tie off, so I'm just going to work from here. If you did tie off and cut your yarn, just go ahead and reattach your border. So here we are, all pieces are sewn together. I'll show you right here for the bottom. I haven't woven in any of the ends or anything yet. So just to give you an idea of what it's looking like. Now from here, we're going to start doing the border along the top edge of our bag. So from here, I'm going to switch over and start doing single crochets instead of a slip stitch. Now coming up, because it's the side of that first strip, we're going to work, once again, evenly spaced 2 stitches per row. So 1 single crochet into the side halfway up the stitch, another one into the next stitch, and we're just going to continue that until we reach the very top of that one side. And then right here is our very top stitch. And then from here, we're just going to continue working down 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way until we get to the center here where we begin working up the next side. That would be, at least in mine, it'll be up the side of the red. Now that we're here into the center, I'm going to do a single crochet right to where our slip stitches end, and then continue coming up the side, a single crochet right into the center, right into the stitch between the rows, another single crochet into the center of the next row, to the beginning of the next row. So we're doing 2 single crochets per row coming up the side. And we want to repeat this going all the way around the top border of our bag until we get back to the very beginning, where we can go ahead and tie off. So I'll meet you back here once we get all the way back to the beginning. All right, so now we finished our top border. I've gone ahead and weaved in all of my ends also. So it kind of gives you an idea what's going on, all of our seams. Also, if you don't like that big seam, you can always just turn it right inside out. Use a different color. By all means, change up things however you wish to do it for your pattern. From here, we're going to start and create our straps. So what we're going to do is find that top corner stitch and create our slip knot. And we're going to find these stitches for the top corner. Right here is the top corner, and I'm going to go 1 to the side, so down the other side. And I'm going to attach my yarn right into that stitch. And then from there, we're going to chain 3. Now into the next stitch, we're going to put 3 double crochets. And then 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So this is just forming up the area for the strap. And then from here, I'm going to do 2 chains. And then we're going to turn our work. And then into that same stitch where we started. So that very first stitch, so the chain 2 does not count as a stitch. Into that first stitch, we're going to do 1 double crochet, and then 1 double crochet all the way across. So we're going to do 5 double crochets. And because we started with the chain 3 for a double crochet, we're going to put that 5th double crochet into the 3rd chain. And so we just want to repeat this step. So chain 2, turn, and then double crochet into your first, and then into the next 4 stitches. And this is just creating the strap. I prefer this method as opposed to just chaining a certain amount of chains and working in double crochets across, because I find this method actually helps with weight on my shoulder. I do like picking up produce and everything inside of my crochet bags, so they can get quite heavy. So I just prefer this type because it puts less of a strain onto my shoulder. And I will go ahead and continue this until I have a desired strap length, and I will show you here in a minute how to attach it to the opposite side. So from here I ended up doing 30 rows. Now this creates a nice length of a strap for myself. You can add or remove rows however you wish to the bag. Now you want to lay out your strap, make sure it's not bent or twisted. And then you're going to want to go to the next little poke up for our tote bag. And into there you want to find that center stitch. Now I did not tie off yet because I'm just going to use a simple slip stitch to attach. You could tie off also and just use your darning needle to sew it on, however you wish. Now I'm going to, into that stitch right next to, I'm going to simply do a slip stitch into there. And then because we're doing almost like a decrease, I'm simply going to bring my hook, weave it through the next 3 stitches, and create a slip stitch into that center stitch. So it's like I'm pulling 3 stitches together into one. So I'll show you that one more time. So we finished off here. I'm going into, here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Going with my hook in, out, and then in to the 3rd, then going into that top center stitch and pulling through all the loops on my hook. And then I'm going to go into that last stitch, and I'm going to go into the stitch just one to the other side and slip stitch into there. And then from here I'll go ahead and tie off, and then later weave in all of the ends. So here is our first strap, and we're going to go ahead and repeat the same process for on the other side to finish up making our little Valentine tote bag. And once you're all done, make sure to weave in all the remaining ends and have fun and enjoy your new bag. By all means, if you want to change up colors and everything throughout it, this is your own personal little work of art that you're creating. If you don't want to do, you know, like a Valentine's theme, maybe you want to do the seams, you know, red or pink instead. However you wish to do it, you can change them all up. Let me know right in the comments. I'd love to see it. Post a photo of your creation. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a little thumbs up, like. Let me know in the comment section. And if you have not yet to subscribe, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button and that bell notification next to it to get a heads up every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.